Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to paint this lovely winter holiday wreath. So let's get started. First, as always, let's talk supplies. Here you will need watercolor pens. Here I am using Winter and Newsstand Cotman pen. And you will also need a piece of watercolor paper. For today's tutorial, I am using the Arches Cold Blast watercolor paper, and feel free to use whatever sizes you want. And you also need a paint brush. Here I am using the Princeton Velvet Touch round size 8. And for this project, you will also need fine liner. I am using the micron pen. The nib is 005. And feel free to use whatever fine liner that you have available at home. And a pencil to do some light sketching, an eraser, and I also have a ceramic plate for the color mixing. And also don't forget to have a cup of water to rinse off the brushes in between. Alright, let's get started with the painting. Since today we're going to paint some anemone flowers, I am going to go to Pinterest and search for some inspiration. As you can see, there's a lot of images show up when you search for anemone flowers, so I saved some of them into my Pinterest board for my reference. And I want to draw a couple of them in different perspectives. So as you can see, I save a couple of them with a different perspective so that I can draw accordingly. For the position, I am going to place them in the left corner of the wreath. And here is the first one. I am starting to draw a big circle first, and another much smaller circle in the center. This is like a stamen of the flowers. And after that, I am just look at the shape of the petals and start to draw accordingly. And as you can see, all the petals will be pointed toward to the little circle in the center, and this little circle is acting as the guideline for the petals. And that's it, we finished the first flowers. For the second one, I wanted to have a little bit different in terms of perspective. So this one's gonna be looking up a little bit on the left side of the big flowers. And I started with the same process, starting with a circle first and then a little circle. Maybe this one is not in the center, but it's more closer to the bottom of the flowers, since difference in perspective. And from there I will start drawing the petals. And now I am getting to the third one on the right side. As you can see, I just keep repeating the same drawing process. Start with a big circle and with a smaller circle and with the petals. So the most important thing is that we take time to observe the image photo and start drawing accordingly. I know that when it comes to drawing, it may sound a little bit tricky, but trust me, I am not good at drawing either. But if I can do it, you can do it too. It just takes time and effort and practice. You will get better. And the other tip is, when you choose a photo reference, try to pick the one that has the highest image quality, and also choose the one that is simple and easy for you to follow. And now I am going to use my fine liner to draw on top of those pencil lines. And this one, the nib size is 005, so as you can see, it's just very small and thin and give me a very delicate line. So yeah, for this step, it's basically very simple. You only have the pencil line, you just kind of trace on top of it, and later on we will use the eraser to remove all the pencil line. And when you draw the petals of the flowers, make sure that you just kind of shake your hands a little bit, just like what I'm doing right here, so that you have kind of wonky and crooked lines, not a straight line, so the flower is gonna look more organic and natural. Alright, and now it's time to do some color mixing. For the flowers, I am going to mix some of the cadmium yellow with permanent rose to achieve some sort of peachy tone. As you may know, I love peachy tone. And I also want to have a flowers that is in the violet colors. So here I am mixing the cerulean blue with the violet. And please feel free to use whatever colors that you prefer. And the next step is just to drop in the pigment within the liner. I find that this step is pretty easy since you already have the drawing, and compared to when you just go in and use watercolor straight away. And one more thing is that I want to have the pigments is very subtle. I don't want it just too dark because it's gonna make the flowers look too heavy. We only have the dark ink liner here, so just to balance out, I am going just to use the colors very subtle. And now, while waiting for these first layers to be dry, I am going to continue to fill up with the rest of the wreath. And the next element I'm going to put in the wreath is, I would say these are olive leaves. Since we are doing the winter wreath, so I am going to fill up with some of the winter greeneries, and olive leaves is one of them. I know you may think that olive leaf, the color is not like that, but since we're gonna do a lot of greens for the wreath in the next element, so I think that incorporate different kind of colors. Like this one, I am using the ultramarine. Will make the wreath look more maybe colorful and interesting, I guess. And I'm not gonna go into too much detail on how to paint these elements since I already have a video that show you how to paint a different winter greenery, so I will link in the description below. Feel free to check that out. And the next element I'm going to paint is the pine leaf. As you can see, I have a little sticker on the side here. That's exactly the pine leaf that I'm going to paint. And for the pine leaf, I'm just simply use the sap green and also mix the sap green with a little bit of ultramarine to have a little different, like a more bluish green, so that they can have some sort of variation. And that's it. I think pine leaf probably is the most easy one that I ever painted. And the last element that I am going to paint for this wreath is holly leaf. And usually holly will come with berries as well. And this is probably the only leaf that I've never painted in most of my holiday card video tutorial, so I am going to show you how to paint this. And don't worry, it is very easy and very simple as well. So first you're going to draw two lines like that, and the two C shape on two sides, and connect them together. And after that, you're going to use the colors to fill up the shape. That's it. It's just simple. Now we're going to paint another one on a different direction, and I am going to connect two of them together and grab some of the purplish red and add some berries. So that's it. That's just simple. And now I am going to paint some hollies on the wreath to fill up the circle. And if you notice that for every element on the wreath, I always try to have them in different values, some dark, some medium, and some very light. And that is the way for you to create some sort of depth. And now, while waiting for these elements, first layers to be dry, I am going back to the flowers to add the stamens. I am using the paint gray mixing with a little bit of dark purple. As you can see, I just kind of paint a circle, a very dark circle in the middle. And you can reserve a little bit white, just like what I'm seeing here, to have some sort of highlight. And make sure you follow the reference photo to see where the stamen is located, so that you can have a different perspective for the flowers. I've been very obsessed with these anemone flowers. I think the center stamens is something that makes this flower so stand out and different to the other flowers. It looks like the diamonds to me, and I think that's probably the reason why I am so drawn into it. And now I am just kind of go around a circle again to add some berries for the olive and for the holly, and also add another layer for different elements to create different values, so that we can have some sort of depth for the wreath. And as you can see, for the berries, I also have it in different shapes, some very big, some small, and some medium size. Make sure you have a different shape for different leaf, and paint them in different directions. So that's the way to make your wreath look more organic, natural, and it's gonna look more interesting that way as well. And the final step, this step is totally optional, it's up to you, because I think these flowers already looks pretty good now. I just kind of use the fine liner again, and then to add some shading for the flower. I've just kind of make the line between the petals darker a little bit, and also draw some line inside the petal, just like what you're seeing here, to have it some sort of contrast and definition. And when you add the light inside the petals, make sure that you follow the shape of the petal itself. And now I also use the fine liner to add a little dot on the berries as well. This one is very tiny and small detail, but it's gonna make a huge difference. So I highly suggest that you also add these dots onto the berries to make it look more definition. Alright guys, the wreath is completely done. I think this one is pretty much simple and easy and suitable for beginners, except the drawing part is a little bit tricky, but I believe you can do it. You just need to take time and effort, and you will get better with practice as well. And I think this one gonna be a great idea if you need the last minute holiday card, or you can just write any message or quote and frame it and hang it on the wall to make it like a holiday decoration. That would be a great idea as well. And thank you so much for watching. I wish you all have a happy and cozy holiday, and that you have a good time to relax and rest. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!